I inherit a home and I want to sell it, but where do I start? Inheriting a home can be a gift and a challenge at the same time. First, there's a loss to cope with and the uncertainty of the expenses of now owning and being responsible for another property. So what should you do? If this is your situation, stick around. I have sold a number of inherited homes and worked closely with executors, trustees, attorneys, and everyone else. And we're going to talk about that step by step. Hi everyone, I am Lisa McBride. I'm a local real estate agent with Keller Williams Realty Select in Sarasota Lakewood Ranch. I post weekly videos all about living, working, and buying, selling in Sarasota. So be sure to subscribe and leave comments below. So what do you do with an inherited home? Well, you have three choices. You can move into the home, you can rent it out, or you can sell it. Most people do tend to sell an inherited home. But first, are you the sole owner of the house now, or are there siblings and other relatives involved with this ownership? And if so, do all parties agree with what needs to be done? This sometimes can be a little bit of a stumbling block. This time of dealing with a loss, it's really important to remember that emotions can and will run high. And siblings and other relatives do not always agree on what needs to be done. If possible, it's really good to be able to sit down and have a really calm, educated discussion with all parties and review the pros and cons of the choices. Is there one party or one person that's going to take point in handling all the details and keeping everybody else apprised of the situation? One thing to know is there any outstanding debts? Is there a mortgage on the home? Are there other debts such as property taxes, medical bills, or things that you don't know about? That's going to help a lot in determining what to do. And what about capital gains on the property and any other kind of tax implication? Well, inherited property, you get to take advantage of the stepped up tax basis, which states the tax basis is the fair market value of the property at the previous owner's time of death. For instance, if the home was originally purchased for maybe $300,000 and then at time of death, its fair market value or appraised value is $500,000, then the new stepped up tax basis is $500,000. So if you sell the home for that price, there's no capital gains. Now, this is not the same as inheritance tax, and tax laws are very hard to decipher. I am not an accountant, and I highly recommend discussing the right steps financially with your professionals when making choices for the home. You will need to report the proceeds to the IRS, even if there is no taxable gain. So again, be sure to consult with your accountant and financial planner. Now, the home will need to go through probate if there is not a will or a trust. Make sure you have all the appropriate documentation, keep everything together because there are tons of questions and details that come up during the process. Again, this is why having one person in charge is really, really good, and hopefully it's the most organized person. So if the decision is to sell, where do you start? One of the most emotional is going through all of the personal belongings left in the home. Going through a loved one's items can bring back lots of memories, and so be easy on yourself and just try to keep just a few special mementos. It's really impossible to take everything and then you combine it with what you have. It's hard to do. And as hard as it is to get rid of things, in the long run, it will be the best. So start by organizing piles of what you want to keep, what you want to give away, and what you want to sell. You can hold a yard sale or an estate sale. And there's so many wonderful companies out there that can help, whether they come in to organize, have a sale, dispose of, tons of people out there to help you. And sometimes having an impartial set of eyes is really nice. If the decision is to sell the home, be sure to work with an agent familiar with how to work with inherited homes. And that was going to step up and really help with what's needed. As I said, I work with a lot of homes in trust and probate, and there's a lot of little details we go through. One of the big questions that I'm always asked is, should I sell it as is or should I make repairs? And what's going to be the difference in the price and the profits? Which is better? If the home was owned by an elderly loved one, then there can be deferred maintenance to the home. You may be inheriting a home that has both visible and hidden problems that will come up during inspections. If you do decide to sell the home, it could be beneficial to have the home inspected first. This way you know exactly what you'll be passing on to the new owners, and also you can price the home accordingly. If you decide to make needed updates, and usually many times if you do, you can make a little bit more money in the long run, but you need to have a time frame and keep the task going timely, because it can draw out if you're just not sure. Time of your ownership of the property, there's going to be ongoing expenses to keep in mind, such as property taxes, HOA fees if applicable, the utilities have to remain on, you're paying insurance. And this one's hard because insurance companies do not like to insure vacant homes, so the cost to insure the property can be a little higher than what you would expect. And also security of the home. When a home is vacant, there's more chance of vandalism or theft on a vacant house, so you want to make sure it's very highly secured. A few final notes to keep in mind is you may experience longer probate periods than anticipated, delays with paperwork and lots of questions, and sometimes you feel like you've already answered these questions a million times and you're going to be asked them again. Having more than one heir can sometimes lead to conflict. Not everyone sees eye to eye on what needs to be done with the home or the items inside the home. This property could hold more loss than gain. And as time moves on and you have to continue with the day-to-day upkeep of the home, it can become very expensive. Not all inheritance is great inheritance. Having a wonderful attorney, accountant, and real estate agent are paramount in getting the home sold quickly with as much ease as possible, and for the most amount of money. I have sold many homes that are inherited, and if you have questions, I'd love to discuss it with you. There's a link below to download my step-by-step guide of what to do with an inherited home. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave comments. And if I can be of help, just call. Until next time, take care.